I'm quick, I'm effective, I feel sharper, I feel happier. So I feel really good with the not drinking and with that whole thing of not wasting time. I feel like my life has a lot more purpose since I've stopped drinking because I can focus on everything I want to do more, and I've just achieved everything I've wanted to achieve. So I feel like I'm not wasting my time and I'm using my time effectively, if that makes sense.
And obviously you don't just wake up one day and go, cool, I'm quitting drinking, like I'm done.
No.
It's a gradual process, but...
Well, for me, it wasn't necessarily gradual. It was just a thing called rock bottom. So once you hit there...
Like your tipping point.
Yeah, it's your tipping point. Like I joke about it being rock bottom and everything, but it's a tipping point more than a rock bottom. You know, I woke up, I fell down some stairs, I cut my face open, and then I just looked at myself in the mirror, and I was still so drunk, and I was like, okay, let me take a step back. And then I couldn't sleep that night, and I just thought about, you know what, I've got like 10 assignments due for varsity, I've got 3 shoots, and I'm far behind. And what have I been doing the past week? I've just been sitting, drinking, and going and jolting with mates, and it's fun. And everyone always says, you know, that you make memories. A lot of people have said they don't always, you know, make it alcohol dependent, but they just say when you go out and you have fun, you make memories. And at the end of the day, memories will take you backwards and dreams will take you forwards, you know?
Sure.
You know? So that's the type of mentality that I have, where it's, yeah, you can make memories. I've got tons of good memories, even though I don't drink. But at the end of the day, you can't just be living for the fact that 10 years from now, you're going to be living on the fact of nostalgia. It's like, oh yeah, but I enjoyed my early 20s so much because we went out and we partied and everything. But then you live a life in your 30s where you might be struggling a little bit. And it's like, I hope it was worth it because you wanted to live for the memories, then live for them. And, you know, to each their own. I don't want to sound like a person that's coming here and hating on people for drinking and everything like that. For me, this is all completely subjective to me and how I feel and my personal experience with stop drinking. Because I was one of those people where it's, you know, like, oh, I made such a good memory. We're going to go and we're going to have a bender this weekend. We're going to go and drink nonstop and we're just going to make so many memories. Meanwhile, now when I look back on that, it's, instead of doing that, I'll still go out and I'll see some friends, but then I'll go home and I'll write 10 pages of my screenplay that I've been developing for 3 years. And I've made a good memory because I've had a good night with friends, but at the end of the day, I'm pushing my dream forward. You know, I want to go somewhere and I've got that clear focus where I want to be and what I want to do. So,
but he said, okay, we either have to amputate now or we really have to look for something out of the box and there could be some serious risks here. So I said, you know, life is there to be lived, like you meant to live it to the full and experience everything, and I can't do that if I'm constantly on these therapies and doing all this experimental stuff with in the back of my head that this could be not the thing that's going to work. So we decided to amputate, and yeah, right arm, which was my dominant arm for 18 years. I always say I was right-handed for 18 years and for the last 4 or 5 years I've been left-handed. So it was a crazy moment to sit there and tell somebody face to face that yes, you can take the hand that I learned to write with, that I learned to hold a tennis racket with, that I learned to play cricket with, golf with, like something that was so important to me. You say, okay, for the betterment of my life, take it away. So amputated. I then decided the rest of that year from June until December, I was just going to completely like take life in that moment. Went on a few trips to Cape Town, the Kruger, just completely get away from it all. Because obviously now you got to think, I've deregistered from varsity. I've lost my dominant arm. Where do I go from here? Do I go back into what I was studying? What is my next step? So then I thought, you know what? We can't make that decision now. We've already made one of the toughest decisions. Let's put it on the back burner. We'll get to it. So I took some time off, recovered, did some very silly things my doctor would hate to hear. Played tennis, like 3 weeks after my amputation, running around the court with my full-on bandages, which was to the horror of everyone, but it had to be done. And then I had to learn how to write, because then by the time I got to about November, December, I decided I was going back to varsity in the new year, studying something completely different at a different institution. Taught myself how to write, went back to varsity. One of the proudest things that I hold close to me is that I was able to write all my examinations before COVID kind of messed it up, but all my examinations handwritten without any extra time. That was one of my big goals, was to learn how to write, give myself that independence, and then accomplish something like that without having to be, oh, he's disabled, he has this, let's give him something to make it easier. So that was a huge thing for me. Did my degree, had an absolute blast, and now in the working world. So that's my story in like a nutshell, as it is. Huge trauma and big decisions, but realizing that each of our lives is on its own path. Can't compare, you can't race against each other. Yes, I added a year to my studies. Yes, I added a year for recovery. But in the greater scheme of things, I'm here today sitting on this nice couch in the studio, talking to one of my good mates and just sharing about life. Whereas if I dwelled on that negativity and all that trauma, who knows where I would be now.
It's dew on the grass, it wets my socks. But my kid, bro, is like, bro, can you see that there's little droplets of water, bro, and it blows his mind. And it's like, holy shit, dude, I was also that kid, once upon a time. And it's that important because it is that cool. And you're just taking it for granted, bro, because you're in your head about the rest of the world, bro.
And you get so serious.
Stop and take a second to appreciate the dew on the grass, my man. Like, my kid is in love with gardening. It's incredible. And he loves the sky. And he stops everything that he does when he sees a helicopter or an airplane. And he loves dogs, and it's like things I am so quick to take for granted, like, oh, a pink flower, I walk straight past that thing. I've seen it 15 times, but dude, so we have these pink flowers in our garden. Every day we will stop to look at the pink flower. And it's like, dude, just appreciate where you are. The world is so much more than your tunnel vision says it is, especially when your tunnel vision is saying the world is ugly. It's gray and dark. Bro, spend time with a 2-year-old. You'll see how much beauty there is in the world around you. How you've just been worked to not appreciate what's around you. And my kid has retaught me how to be a kid. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I mean, you must see me on one of those little plastic bikes. My man, I've got years on those things, bro. I'm experienced now. And it's only because my kid has reinvigorated that joy and that lust for life.
You take the risk and you do it because you love it, rather than going for that security. Because I think if you are secure, you also reach a point where you want more,
Yeah.
So,
and it's important just to have that growth mindset as well. As soon as you stop growing, you stop learning.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, for everyone out there who is maybe unhappy with where they are now, just know that it's not going to be forever, and the decision is in your hands, so if you have something that's been in the back of your mind that you've been too scared to take on, go and take it on. I mean, we're in our 20s and we're all nervous for what's coming next, but at the same time, your 20s is when you mess up, it's when you restart, you try again, you have the ability to do that versus pushing through, and then when you're 40, you're still having the same questions in your mind.
I really like that.
Yeah. So just go for it, I think. Yeah.
And
if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
And in closing,
yes.
Do you believe that everything happens for a reason?
Without a doubt, yes. I definitely do. I think, as cheesy as it is, it's true. I mean, all the bad things, all the good things, everything leads up to where you are now, and you may not understand where you are now, but it's leading to the next chapter in your life. So I'm very trusting on that, especially if things are hard, go through the hard time, feel what you need to feel, because that's where you're meant to be right now, and it's leading to something else. So I also do live by that cheesy saying.
I think you mentioned AI a little bit earlier, and AI can be a little bit of a touchy subject for some people. I think there's a lot of fear and doubt in terms of AI. What do you think the future looks like with AI? Do you think it's something that we need to be fearful of?
I think Hollywood has clouded our judgment with many things, and this is probably one of them. I think there is a reality in how much artificial intelligence is going to play in the future. But I do think that we have survived many things. And I remember when in education, when the calculator was made a compulsory tool for mathematics. And most maths teachers completely collapsed because your brain's not going to work and you're not going to be able to think for yourself. Well, try and do maths today without a calculator. It's virtually impossible. So we've evolved around that. And I think AI is one of those things that we're going to evolve around. The interesting thing is going to be, how do we acknowledge the change and how do we understand what's happening? Because if you go right now, in the last few days, AI is on your phone automatically. If you have any Meta product, it's there. So if I'm on WhatsApp, suddenly this thing popped up, AI, it's like, what the hell is this? So I had a look, I typed in some things, this is great. So using it as a tool is incredible. Tomorrow I've got a little esports junior team flying to Dubai to compete in the Dubai esports festival for Minecraft. And I thought, okay, let me test AI. So I tested a couple of questions. I looked at exchange rate. How much is this? How do I check in on Emirates? I knew how to check in, but I wanted to see what AI does. Gave me the links, told me what to do. Can you give me some more information? So as a tool, it's incredibly powerful, and we need to use it in the right way. In teaching, it's insane what you can do and how effective it can be. The tragedy is if you're just going to use it because you're lazy. And I see that. I see that with even teachers applying and sending CVs or letters through. That's been written by AI. You can pick it up immediately, ChatGPT, the style, the tone, the use of language. Sometimes people forget to tell AI to use British grammar because that's what we do in South Africa. It's what our language is based on, and you have these American words coming through, and you can see immediately that it's AI. So again, it's how we use it as a tool.